Good morning, class 7. Let's continue with chapter 5 Rulers and Buildings. That day we have discussed the different styles. You will be able to understand what is an arch, how it was built up. Now let's continue buildings, temples, mosque, and tank. Temples and mosques were beautifully constructed because they were places of worship. They were also meant to demonstrate the power, wealth, and devotion of the patron. Take the example of Rajarajeshwar Temple. An inscription mentions that it was built by King Raja Rajadeva for the worship of his god. So, Rajarajeshwaram, this temple was built, and the people built to show that they are the representatives of God, and people should show respect to the king. So that was also one of the purpose why the kings built so elegant buildings. Notice how the names of the rulers and the god are very familiar. The king took the god's name because it was auspicious and he wanted to appear like a god. Through the rituals of worship in the temple, one god, Raja Rajadeva, honored another, that is Raja Rajeshwaram. The largest temple were also constructed by kings. The other lesser deities in the temple were gods and goddesses of the allies and subordinates of the ruler. The temple was a miniature model of the world ruled by the king and his allies. As they worshipped their deities together in the royal temples, it seemed as if they brought the just rule of God on earth. So, these temples were constructed by the kings, and lesser deities of the temples were the gods and the goddesses of the allies. That means the people who are supporting the king. Allies means friends, those who are supporting the king, and subordinates of the rulers. The temple was a miniature. It was like smaller version. Miniature is a smaller version of the world ruled by the king and his allies. So they worshipped the deities together in the royal temples. Muslim sultans and badshahs did not claim to be incarnation of God, but Persian court chronicles describes the sultan as a shadow of God. So they didn't claim themselves, they didn't call themselves as incarnation, that is like the rulers who were incarnation. You can say that Lord Vishnu had the incarnation as Ram. So Ram was the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So initially, like Hindu kings, they claimed to be the incarnation of lords, but these Muslim rulers, they called themselves as shadow of God. An inscription in Quwwatul Islam mosque explained that God chose Alauddin as a king because he had the qualities of Moses and Solomon, the great lawgivers of the past. The greatest lawgiver and architect was God Himself. He created the world out of chaos and introduced order and symmetry. So they called themselves as the shadow of God. And there is one inscription in Quwwatul Islam mosque which explains that God chose Alauddin as his king, as the king, because God felt that Alauddin had the qualities of Moses and Solomon, who are considered to be the lawgivers. As each new dynasty came to power, kings wanted to emphasize their moral right to be rulers. Constructing places of worship provided rulers with the chance to proclaim their close relationship with God. Especially important in an age of rapid political change, rulers also offered patronage to the learned and pious, and tried to transform their capitals and cities into great cultural centers that brought fame to their rule and their realm. So, different dynasties which came to power, the king wanted that the standard of morality should be proclaimed, and they constructed different places of worship, provided with the ruler the chance of just to show that they they had relationship with God. And the importance was given that because the God is himself proclaiming them as a king. So rulers tried also offered patronage to the learned and the pious people, that is the true people. It was widely believed that the rule of a just king would be an age of plenty when the heavens would not withhold rain. At the same time, making precious water available by constructing tanks and reservoirs was highly praised. Sultan Iltutmish won universal respect for constructing a large reservoir just outside Delhi Kohna. It was called Hauze Sultani or King's Reservoir. Can you find it on map 1 in chapter 3? Rulers often constructed tanks and reservoirs, big and small, for the use by ordinary people. Sometimes these tanks and reservoirs were part of a temple, mosque. Note the small tank in the Jama Masjid or a Gurudwara, place of worship and congregation for Sikh. So you must have seen that different places of worship they have small tanks built there. So it was built by the different rulers, considering that it is something which is very much essential for the common people, for their subject. So they built it. Few examples they have given you, which if you have visited Delhi, you might have seen the Hauze Sultani, which is or the King's Reservoir. The size could vary, it could be small or it could be a bigger one. Why were temples targeted? Because kings built temples to demonstrate their devotion to God and their power and wealth. It is not surprising that when they attacked one another, kingdoms they often targeted these buildings. In the early 9th century, when Pandyan king Srimura Srivallabha invaded Sri Lanka and defeated King Sena I, the Buddhist monk and chronicler Dhammakitty noted he removed all the valuables. The statue of Buddha was entirely of gold in the jewel palace, and the golden images in the various monasteries. All these he seized. The blow to the pride of Senhali's ruler had to be avenged, and the next Senhali ruler, Sena II, ordered his general to invade Madurai, the capital of the Pandyas. The Buddhist chronicler noted that the expedition made a special effort to find and restore the gold statue of Buddha. So the reason was that they felt that since the kings have built these temples to show their power, so the invaders or the kings who invaded, the first thing they did was they targeted these temples which were built by them. And they have given you the example that Sena, the Pandyan ruler who invaded when the Sena I was there, so he had annexed or he had seized the idol of Buddha, which was completely made, the statue of Buddha, which was completely made of gold. And when Sena II came to power, his first thing which he did was to get back the like you can say the respect which they have lost. So first of all they attacked or invaded Madurai, and they tried to get back the gold statue of Buddha. Similarly, in the early 11th century, when the Chola king Rajendra I built a Shiva temple in his capital, he filled it with prized statues seized from defeated rulers. An incomplete list included a sun pedestal from the Chalukyas, a Ganesha statue, and several statues of Durga, a Nandi statue from the eastern Chalukyas, an image of Bhairava, a form of Shiv, and Bhairavi from the Kalingas of Orissa, and a Kali statue from Palas of Bengal. So, in the 11th century, when the Chola king Rajendra I, he built, when he came to power, he built a Shiva temple in his capital, and it was like filled with the prized statues seized from defeated rulers. An incomplete list included, like obviously the list which we can see, it is an incomplete one. The purpose was to show that the ruler who has the capacity to defeat them and annex all these from the ruler who was against him. So it was just to get respect from the subject or show that how powerful he was. That is the main purpose. Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni was a contemporary of Rajendra I. During his campaigns in the subcontinent, he attacked the temples of defeated kings and looted their wealth and idols. Sultan Mahmud was not a very important ruler at that time. But by destroying temples, especially the one at Somnath, he tried to win credit as a great hero of Islam. In the political culture of the Middle Ages, most rulers displayed their political might and military success by attacking and looting the places of worship of defeated rulers. So, I hope you people are aware of Mahmud of Ghazni. He invaded India 18 times, and he had his main purpose was to plunder it. And he is very famous, although he was not very important. He doesn't hold very important place, but then just because he was capable and he invaded Somnath temple and plundered it, that's why he has been remembered. And according to, he did this just to become the, hero in the Islam, or people who would talk about him in the coming future, just because he has, he was able to disturb something which was again, as he felt that it was against Islam. People who are following some other religion, they are against Islam. So that's all for today class.